Did the Treaty of Versailles, meant to end a war, actually pave the way for another? Welcome to Class Bites. Today, we're diving into how this infamous treaty, especially its war guilt clause, reshaped Germany and set the stage for future conflict. Could a single document, intended to secure peace, instead sow the seeds for an even greater conflict? On the 28th of June 1919, the Treaty of Versailles was signed, imposing a series of punitive restrictions upon a defeated Germany. At the heart of this treaty lay a provision that would fester in the German consciousness for years to come. Article 231, commonly known as the War Guilt Clause. This clause was perhaps the most humiliating portion of the entire document, for it forced the German nation to accept complete and sole responsibility for initiating the First World War. By deeming Germany the aggressor, the treaty held it liable for all material damages, making it responsible for paying vast reparations to the Allied nations to compensate for the immense losses and damage they had sustained. The treaty was comprehensive and complex in its systematic dismantling of the German armed forces, known as the Reichswehr. These provisions were meticulously designed to render the Reichswehr incapable of any offensive action and to ostensibly encourage a new era of international disarmament. The German army was to be drastically limited to a mere 100,000 men, and the practice of conscription was strictly forbidden. A deadline was set, stating that by a date no later than the 31st of March 1920, the German army must comprise no more than 7 divisions of infantry and 3 divisions of cavalry. The famed Great German General Staff, along with all similar military organizations, was ordered to be dissolved entirely. The restrictions extended to the seas, where the Navy was confined to vessels under 10,000 tons, with an absolute ban on the acquisition or maintenance of a submarine fleet. In the skies, Germany was forbidden from maintaining an air force of any kind. The very tools of modern warfare were outlawed, as the manufacture of armored cars, tanks, submarines, airplanes, and poison gas was forbidden. To create a buffer zone, all German territory west of the Rhine River and extending 30 miles or 50 kilometers east of it was to be a permanently demilitarized zone. Beyond the military castration, Germany suffered a profound dismemberment of its national territory. The nation lost a staggering 13% of its land, which included 10% of its population. The Treaty of Versailles forced Germany to concede Eupen-Malmedy to Belgium, the Holstein district to the newly formed Czechoslovakia, and the territories of Poznan, West Prussia, and Upper Silesia to Poland. The cherished region of Alsace-Lorraine, which Germany had annexed from France in 1871 following the Franco-Prussian War, was returned to French sovereignty. The humiliation extended across the globe, as all of Germany's overseas colonies were stripped away, transformed into League of Nations mandates. Furthermore, the industrial heartland of the Saar Basin was placed under the administration of the League of Nations, with its valuable coal output being given directly to France as a form of reparations. These severe territorial losses not only reduced Germany's size and economic potential, but also delivered a devastating blow to the national sense of pride. The economic consequences, directly tied to the War Guilt Clause, were crippling. Under Article 231, the Weimar government was compelled to accept responsibility for the war, which in turn meant it had to accept the burden of enormous reparations. In the year 1921, the Reparations Commission set the final staggering amount at 132 billion gold marks, a sum equivalent to approximately $33 billion at the time. Germany, its economy already devastated by war, struggled desperately to meet these payments. This failure led to direct and aggressive action from its neighbors. French and Belgian forces occupied the industrial Ruhr region, seizing goods and resources in place of the missed payments. The German government's response to this occupation was to print more money, which triggered a catastrophic period of hyperinflation that saw the German currency plummet in value, effectively wiping out the savings of the middle class. The harsh terms of the treaty cultivated a deep and widespread feeling of humiliation among the German people. They did not see the treaty as a negotiated settlement, but as a diktat, term diktat. Simple explanation: a harsh settlement or treaty imposed on a defeated nation without its consent, essentially a dictated peace. This sense of a forced and unjust peace fueled powerful nationalist sentiments and incited support for extremist movements. Radical right-wing parties, including Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party, skillfully exploited these grievances. The promise of revising the Versailles Treaty became a central and powerful platform that gave these fringe groups a disturbing credibility with mainstream voters throughout the 1920s and early 1930s, setting the stage for the turbulent decades to come. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts or topic ideas below.